Okay, let's talk about setting up your rain barrel. Now, when you're setting up your rain barrel for the first time, you have to decide where it's going to go. Now, we may have talked about this briefly on other pages, but you got to decide front yard, backyard, side of the house. You'll want to collect your rainwater, if you can, in an area close to where you're actually going to use it. Because if you got the rain barrel on the side of the house, but your garden's on the other side of the house, then it's going to be a real pain to get the water from one place to the other, to carry your watering can all the way across the yard every time, and then come all the way back and fill it up, and it's a real pain. So it's a good idea to see if you can locate your rain barrel in an area close to the area where you want to use the actual water. That's an important tip. Now, what's my other tip here? Oh, you're going to want to set where you got a downspout. So that might limit you in some cases because you're only going to have so many downspouts around your house, and so you might find the downspout that's closest to the area where you want to use the water. Now, what happens if you don't have downspouts on your house and there's no rain gutters at all? You can actually still use a rain barrel in many cases. Now, there's a trough usually someplace where two parts of the roof come together, and if you look at that spot when it rains, you'll see that water comes down the roof, goes into that trough, and it pours down. And the first house where I had a rain barrel, I did not have gutters, and I had a really good spot like that. It was in the backyard, and it happened to be actually pretty close to the garden too. I just plopped down a rain barrel, and water poured into it every time that it rained, and it was no problem. So look for a good spot if you don't have gutters, and you can still use a rain barrel oftentimes. Now, when you're setting up the rain barrel, you can set it up on some kind of a cinder block stand so that you can draw the water from the bottom a little easier. See how this is close to the ground? The spigot is really close to the ground, so it'd be hard to get a watering can. It'd be hard to get a watering can under there. But if you set it up on cinder blocks, where you're a little higher off the ground, it's going to be easier to get to your water. So, if you do set up some kind of a cinder block stand, you want to make sure that where you're setting up is extremely stable, and that you have a big enough platform that the rain barrel is fully supported all the way around, and not where it's just barely sitting on top of two cinder blocks, because water is heavy, and a 50-gallon rain barrel can weigh like 500 or 600 pounds. I don't know, I'm making that up. I think that's accurate. I think every gallon weighs about 8 pounds, and so 50 gallons times 8 pounds adds up pretty quick. So if you don't have a stable platform, the whole thing can be kind of dangerous since it's so heavy. So if you do set up a platform, you want to make sure that it's absolutely stable and big enough to support the rain barrel. And that's all I can think of for setting up a rain barrel.